There are 3 million people in desperate need in Kashmir following last week's devastating earthquake. But 8 days on, not enough aid is getting through to helpless victims without food and shelter. We travelled to a remote mountaintop village with aid agency Helping Hands, and we found out just what a nightmare it is getting help to the needy. We're about to leave Islamabad to go to a remote village near the earthquake-struck city of Bagh in Kashmir. Aid agency Helping Hands plans to establish a base in the village where people are literally living in the open air. They're going to take around 60 tents with them this morning, which should shelter over 200 people. They're also going to take medical and food supplies. Their plan is to establish a base and then constantly supply it in the weeks to come. We're also going to leave this morning with an army escort. We've been hearing stories of relief trucks being raided on the road to Bagh, so it looks as though we're going to need some protection. We've also been hearing stories of roads getting clogged, so we're expecting big backlogs on the road. Apparently, perhaps misguided ordinary people have been clogging the roads with relief supplies, sometimes inappropriate relief supplies. It'll be interesting to see just how easy it is to get aid to the needy in Kashmir. We've been on the road for about 6 or 7 hours now. It should have been a 6-hour trip to Bagh, and we've still got at least 4 hours to go. On the way, we seem to have lost our 2 team leaders, as well as 1 truck and a military convoy. So basically the whole convoy split up. We were making painfully slow progress as the roads got jammed up by trucks carrying relief supplies. The deteriorating weather conditions were also making roads impassable. As time dragged on, tensions were rising. We seem to have a problem here. Our convoy has just been stopped by people coming down from the mountains. We're not at our destination yet. We're about 2 hours from the village near Bagh, where we're supposed to be going. These people are saying they need immediate aid now, and they're demanding that we give them something, some tents, some food, whatever. They want immediate aid. But obviously, that is not part of our plan. There's people in the village waiting for us, and this aid is for them, not for these people. So we're not sure what's happening. There's a quarrel happening down there between our people and their people, and I'm not sure what's going on. But our plans seem to be going completely down the pan.
We can give you 2 tents.
People from nearby villages were making their way down to the side of the road in search of assistance. These 2 boys were pleading for 200 tents, as well as blankets and medical assistance. They had lost several members of their family in the earthquake.
4 members of our family have been died so far. Yeah. My sister, grandma, and then 2 cousins, first cousins.
And buildings are totally collapsed.
Buildings are totally collapsed.
Despite their desperate pleas, a Helping Hands official insisted the tents were needed in the village near Bagh. The boys left with only 2 tents and some blankets. The military have been severely criticised for allowing ordinary people carrying inappropriate supplies to clog up the roads. All along the journey we saw bundles of unwanted items simply discarded by the roadside. Well, this is incredibly frustrating. It's about 40 hours since we left Islamabad and we still haven't reached our destination. We still haven't set up the relief camp in Bagh district. We have reached Bagh district, but we're still at least an hour away from our destination. We've got a real problem now because there was a massive storm last night, and we're not sure if the roads are going to be passable. So we're still not there yet, and we've got all these supplies, but we haven't unloaded them. There were people lining the routes all along our way here, and they were begging for things like tents and blankets, and we couldn't give it to them because our objective is to set up a relief camp in an organised fashion and then distribute aid to as many people as possible, not to just give tents and blankets away willy-nilly. But when people are begging for much needed aid, it kind of breaks your heart not to be able to give it to them. So it's just an incredibly frustrating situation. The army directed us to a remote village 10,000 feet high in the mountains. When the earthquake struck, 500 people were killed in the Wrangler area and nearly every home was destroyed. Villagers were barely surviving in freezing, windswept conditions.
In our village, nearly 200 men have been killed, and so some people are digging them to coming out, and so the condition is very worst. The weather is becoming very cold day by day.
Yeah.
So we are not in a position to defend ourselves in this type of cold weather.
If you want to save our life, please provide us tent and food.
Actually, what we wanted to do was primarily we wanted to identify a place where we can find really deserving people to whom there has been no aid as yet after a week's time. So what we did was we took the liberty to coordinate it with the army people, and they have brought us here. It's a place where there was no coordinated effort being done, and that's all the more reason that we have been here now. So we are primarily establishing 30 tents at the moment. These 30 camps will serve as 8 per people, like 250 people can be accommodated in these tents.
It's been a week since the earthquake struck Erdbeben Kashmir. Yet this is the first time that the people of this village have received any assistance whatsoever. For the past week, they've been suffering in extreme freezing temperatures, just hoping that some assistance would arrive. They're typical of hundreds of thousands of people in this area that the relief effort just hasn't touched. And unless the Pakistani military, government and aid agencies get their act together, more people will die unnecessarily. This is Roshan Mohammed Saleh reporting from the Islam Channel from Erdbeben Kashmir.